look at this picture. This is Pauline Williams of Sikeston sitting in front of a banner made by one of her daughters. Williams is in a guardianship excuse me, under the New Madrid County Public Administrator's Office. That elected official has control over her finances and her medical care. Tonight at an I-Team update, it has a few twists and turns. Not only is it about whether or not one of this woman's daughters' very public campaign is breaking the law, it's about an elderly woman who suffered a serious injury and may have gone days without treatment.
And I know my mother would want people to know. If she could give a voice, she would be doing the same thing I'm doing.
Tila Mainzer isn't backing down. From this banner to this website,
I keep adding to it.
She wants justice for Pauline, her mother who's been in a guardianship since April 2014.
Please help our grandma. She has family. She doesn't need a guardian. She doesn't need the state of Missouri to be footing her bill.
But Mainzer's very public effort quickly drew the attention of her mom's latest guardian, New Madrid County Public Administrator Paula Scobie.
Probably about a week and a half or so before my mom was admitted to the hospital, I started receiving emails from her.
I'll get to that hospital stay in a minute, but first, here's one of those emails. In it, Scobie calls the use of Miss Williams' last name and pictures on Mainzer's website a total violation of her HIPAA rights. Now let's stop here. What's HIPAA? Actually, it's HIPAA, or the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. It prevents medical professionals from sharing your personal health information except as permitted or required by law.
And I knew that that was not the case because I was familiar with HIPAA and I knew that I couldn't violate HIPAA.
Mainzer says when she asked Scobie to provide proof of the violation, she got this response.
Her reply is, Tila, HIPAA rights and the basic right to privacy. It is all over the internet, so you will be able to look it up.
Hi, is this Paula Scobie? I called Paula Scobie to ask about not just those emails, but about this certified letter she mailed to Mainzer, which also refers to her ward's privacy rights and HIPAA rights and calls the website, quote, a serious violation. I checked with several local attorneys, though, and learned that's not the case. Do you realize that that's not true? Scobie would not give me permission to use her voice, but here's her reply, quote, the people I've talked to say that it is. She also tells me she did not ask an attorney before she sent the letter, but, quote, I've talked to different agencies. The date on that letter, July 5th, is important because one day earlier, Pauline Williams went to the hospital with an infection and was diagnosed with a broken hip.
She fell on the 24th of June. It was 11 days total before she ended up in the hospital. How do you feel, Mother?
Oh, it hurts.
Mainzer believes her mom broke her hip when she fell at the nursing home where she lives. On the phone, Scobie admits not knowing about the fall until 11 days later on July 4th, but says, quote, I had a meeting with the administrator and I was satisfied. I talked to that administrator too. He told me Miss Williams did not complain of any pain for 3 days after the fall and was assessed numerous times. He says no one knows how or when she fractured her hip, suggesting it could have happened on the way to or even at the hospital.
Our most vulnerable citizens are the ones that are being harmed in these places, and the industry is not being held accountable.
Carol Herman's foundation Aiding the Elderly advocates on behalf of seniors nationwide. Her California nonprofit filed a complaint on behalf of Pauline Williams and Tila Mainzer with the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services.
I told them about the date that she had the incident and that she fell and that she laid there in pain for 11 days and nobody diagnosed a broken hip, and I didn't think that the facility took the proper procedures.
I just saw her. She was in good spirits.
Tila Mainzer's glad to see her mom feeling better, but she's still concerned about those emails and the letter accusing her of breaking the law.
She should know HIPAA. She should know that I can't violate it. So if she's sending this to me, is she sending it to other people?
In the meantime, Mainzer's headed back to court with a petition to terminate her mom's guardianship. She tells me fighting for her rights is something her parents taught her to do.
My mother and dad fought, for their neighborhood. They fought for things that were right, and I'm going to take up that battle for her.
The court hearing on Tila Mainzer's termination petition is now set for the end of the month. In the meantime, that nursing home administrator tells me he has shared information about Miss Williams' hip fracture with state investigators and feels confident the nursing home did nothing wrong. Well, now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a loved one in a guardianship? What was your experience? Head to my Facebook page and let me know.